This Discovery 3 gave me a nasty surprise. After I replaced the head gaskets, the engine decided to grenade itself. But today we're going to find out if I can actually save this engine. I have every single part to reassemble this engine. I think first order of business is to install the crank, but before we can install the crank, we need to make some measurements. To measure the oil clearance, there's two options when it comes to measuring the oil clearance. Option one is by using a bore gauge, which is a very accurate way of checking the oil clearances. However, there is a slight downside to this. And the second option is by using the plastic gauge. The plastic gauge is the option I'm going to opt for. The reason for that is because this one has got, although it is rounded off edges, it does tend to leave marks on the bearing, which I generally don't really want at this moment. So I'm going to opt for plastic gauge. Before we can put the crank, we need to install oil squirters, piston squirters. It's time to install the crankshaft. Now this is only a dry fit because we want to do a bearing clearance measurement, oil clearance measurement. So I'm only going to loosely fit this for now, not to twist it, because you don't want that. So just like this. Maybe I should just, I think that should be fine. Now while I cut the plastic pieces and assemble this stuff, JP2 is going to show you exactly what happened to the old crank. Right, here we go. This is the crank number 4. I believe this is number 4. It must be, yeah, because there's a number 4. This is the connecting rod. This is what it looks like. So that is the only one that made contact. This is still, one of them is still pretty good, but that's the one that made contact. And then this is your bearing shells. The other ones, just, you can see that there's contamination that went through the oil, but some of it is just normal wear and tear. And then the main bearings is a slightly different story. Also, I can see some contamination, but the reason why this made contact was these bearings got one hole and it spun inside the block, causing that oil passage to be covered. Okay, so this cap sits in like that. There you can see there's an oil passage. So what happened was this thing slightly spun like that on these two ones. These ones are still good, but these two has just twisted slightly, blocking those two holes. And those two holes are actually the oil passages for these, because they are connected from there to there, and I believe from that hole there to this hole here, or the other one that side. I've got another one that side. They are connected. Let me see if I can show you. See, that all goes through, all the way through to the other side, which is this hole here. I have a theory as to why this happened. I've completed the plastic gauge measurement. It is, as you can see, that one won't fit there, so the spec should be 0.030 to 0.054, and at the moment, as it says, we are at 0.051, so we are within spec, slightly towards the larger end of the spectrum, but I prefer that way. So let me completely clean everything up properly, make sure everything is proper and clean, and then we can start assembling the engine. Now is a good time to ask you if you could please hit that subscribe button. It is free and it'll help out the channel. And to see if we can get this Land Rover back on the road. Okay, so I've got all the pistons installed on the connecting rods. I've got the bearings installed. I meticulously cleaned everything 100%. I'm going to give it one more last wipe and then we'll be ready to install them into the block. What I'm going to do is it's going to take a paper towel and wet it with benzene. Just give it a wipe like that. Just to make sure. See, it is super clean. Same with the caps. From 1 to 6. So let's get them installed. Okay, so first piston is in. I've done the measurement. Let me show you. Again, we are at 0.051. I'm happy with that. So now I know I can go ahead and do them all. I'm going to pause you here and explain what happened. This tool is a ring compressor. This cap right here is too large. The tool should be positioned about here. You can see here is the oil control ring and it's sticking out. It's not compressed to slide in. And the muppet over here didn't focus. Let's see what he did. Yes, that's correct. That muppet over there, he broke the control ring. Luckily, we managed to find another one. Okay, so now that we've got the engine assembled, the oil pump is on, I have gone ahead off camera and installed the rear main seal. The reason I didn't film it because it was an awkward angle, so I just key hold it through this engine stand. So next up I would like to put the upper sump, as we call it, on. The reason I want to do that is because I want to close it up. I don't want any debris and stuff get into the engine. So let's get that on. You wouldn't believe what just happened to me. So I stepped out for lunch, I came back and I was greeted with this. I think the Land Rover gnomes must have just popped by the workshop to quickly assemble it. I'll take that. Anyway, there's still lots to be assembled. I made a mistake. Yep. Assembled it, it's coming off again. And you wouldn't believe what I forgot. I'll show you. See it yet? Maybe you saw it before I put the cover on. Yes. Locking pins. Do not forget those. You'll have a very bad day. Glad I remember about that. Let's get them out. And just like that, this engine is now fully assembled and ready to go back into the car. Join me next time where I will be installing it back into the car and attempting to drive it for the first time in months. Spoiler alert, my theory was completely wrong, but you're going to need to wait until the next one to find out what happened. Let's hope it all goes well. See you soon.